Hi, and thank you for joining Inova Health Systems Healthy Cooking Demo with Inova Well. My name is Kelsey Coates, and I'm very excited you are here today. We are really excited to go through a healthy cooking demo. And with that, we will get going. My name is Kelsey Coates. I am the health coaching manager for Inova Well within Inova Health System. My background is in exercise physiology, and I'm a certified health coach with a true passion in fitness and nutrition and really just community health and well-being. Inova Well truly focuses on what our graphic emits here in the photo, not only focusing on nourishing our bodies well, but our minds, staying active through movement, focusing on a healthy planet, being aware of our health, meaning knowing our numbers. My personal favorite, health coaching, because that's the team that I lead, and then staying connected, which is so important now than ever. Today, we are going to go over energy balls. And these are my favorite because I'm not the best cook in the world. I will give that away now. But energy balls are a non-bake, very simple recipe that you can make from home. You don't have to have any cooking level of experience because they are non-bake. And what's great about them is they're great for on the go. You can package them up in little baggies, store them in the fridge, and use them as a piece of protein, whether it's in the morning, in lunchtime for a quick snack, or after work. And these are friendly for the prenatal population that we are speaking with. And there's a lot of ways to adjust the ingredients. You can take out things that you just don't enjoy or things that you may have aversions to at the moment and swap them for different ingredients. So we'll go over healthy alternatives to make these energy balls specific to you and your taste buds and or cravings. So just to go over the recipe to start, you are going to need 1 cup of old-fashioned oats. So I'll kind of show you the ingredients and then we'll get cooking together. I usually like to use my Quaker oats, and these are old-fashioned oats. Really kind of the healthiest version that you can get. And this is a great, family storage container. And they actually have the openings that do the measurement for you. So these are your old-fashioned oats. Really, again, no brand specific, but want to try to go with the ingredients that have the least amount of additives and most sound ingredients if possible. Then we need our peanut butter. If you do have a peanut allergy, you can swap this out for an almond butter or a sticky alternative of that sort. And there's multiple different kinds of almond butters out there. What I would say, if you're going with any kind of peanut butter or almond butter, is try to choose those with the least added sugars. So I typically like to stay in my all natural peanut butter category or the more organic. I'm going with Justin's today just because it's a huge tub and we go through a lot of peanut butter. But really, again, whatever is your preference, shop your pantry, whatever you have at home. These ingredients don't need to be expensive. A lot of the time you may have some of them, or you can swap them out for alternatives that, again, you have in your pantry. Then a 1/2 cup of ground flaxseed. So I have that here. This is great. It's a great source of fiber, great source of protein, but you can swap these out. I even have some chia seeds that you could swap them for. So that's still going to give you some good protein, but you really could go kind of outside the box in that area. But today I'm just going to use flax seeds. Then we're going to go to our honey. So again, I've just got some honey here, and that's going to help us stick these energy balls together. That is why these are fun to make, because you get sticky and a little messy in the kitchen, but hey, enjoy it. And if you have kids with you, they can get their hands in the kitchen and then they'll feel a little bit more prideful towards eating whatever they're making. But enjoy and embrace the mess. And then your vanilla extract, and then any kind of chocolate chips. You can even swap these out for craisins or raisins, lots of different options. And because I have someone in my household that is lactose intolerant, I went with a vegan cacao morsel just to make it a little bit healthier. And again, I'll show that a little bit more up close, but there's a lot of alternatives that you could mix in to change up any of the ingredients. Basically, the whole idea is to throw them in a bowl, mix them up, and we'll go through that together, but you can always chill these in the fridge. Sometimes, especially if they're very sticky, chilling them in the fridge will help them to kind of stay together in a ball, but also to help you food prep through the week. You can pop them in the fridge in little baggies, and then you have your energy balls on the go. Great replacement for an alternative to a protein bar or any kind of snacking in which you want something that's going to be really filling and nutrient dense and able to energize your body in a good way. So with that being said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment, and I'm going to go back to just the camera, and we will start off our cooking demo. So the first thing that we're going to do here is focus on our first ingredients. So we've got a cup of old-fashioned oats. And again, I've got my Quaker old-fashioned oats here. So I am just going to take my measuring cup right here, and I'm going to pour 1 cup out. And again, it's really important that we measure. Let me pull my screen down so you can see what's going on here. Really, really important that we measure everything out because it's so easy to eyeball, but most of the time we then find ourselves actually cooking with more ingredients than we would hope. So I'm going to just pull this little piece off here because it's actually a little bit harder to pour. I had that on when I was using less oats to measure it out. Okay, so now I'm just going to look at that evenly. I've got my 1 cup of oats, and I'm going to take those and pour them into my bowl as my first ingredient. Put that off to the side, close up my oats so that I don't spill them, and we're good to go there. Wonderful. Next up, let's look at my ingredient list. We've got a 1/2 cup of peanut butter. Again, you can swap that out with almond butter, anything crunchy. And my one trick here is that I'm going to take my spatula, and I'm actually going to spray this with Pam or canola oil, vegetable oil, to help, oh gosh, spraying in too many areas, to help with the non-stick. So that's going to be what I use to take my peanut butter out. So I'm going to put that off to the side. And I'm going to do that same thing with my spoon, again, to help with it to be non-stick. And I got that tip from a family consumer science teacher. So again, you've got a 1/2 cup here. I'm just going to scoop in my peanut butter into my measuring cup. And you really want to level that off, since it's more of our creamy ingredient. Make sure there's no air bubbles so you're getting that right measurement as possible. I'm going to stick that down. All right, so here, I'm going to make sure that I kind of even it out. And I've got my 1/2 cup. So now I'm going to take my spatula and move my peanut butter into my bowl with all the oatmeal or the oats. And again, try to get as much out as possible so you're not wasting any of those ingredients. And it's really nice once you've used the non-stick spray on the spatula because you can really get everything off, every little morsel. So now in my bowl, I have my peanut butter and my oats. Okay, so we're off to a great start here. Next up in my ingredients, it's always good to look back at that ingredient list to make sure that you are staying on track with the order as well as your measurements. So again, another 1/2 cup, but this is going to be a 1/2 cup of flaxseed. So I'm going to use that same measuring cup, and I'm going to take my flaxseed. And lots of options here. You can go chia seed route or try to look for fun and healthy alternatives that are going to be safe for you to use. But really great source of protein. This is really what helps this ingredient list become very nutrient dense and filling. So I'm just going to even that out. And a little bit more to meet that 1/2 cup. Okay, so here's my chia seeds. I'm gonna pour those out, use my spatula to get all of my chia seeds out. And you're mixing everything together at the end, but we're not quite there yet. Great, so now I have chia seeds, peanut butter, and my oats. So I can close those up. A great tip sometimes when you're cooking is to use chewing gum so you're not going to be enticed to eat as you cook. Or have just brushed your teeth. That's another great one if that's something that you kind of think about as you're cooking. But it is not a bad thing to taste test along the way. Just want to do it in moderation. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our honey. And again, this is where you can, make sure that you measure everything out. So we've got 1/3 cup of honey. So I'm actually going to unscrew the top to make it a little bit easier to pour into my measuring cup. And I'm just gonna go ahead and take that, dump it upside down, and get my 1/3 cup. And this is really what's going to help everything stick together. And keep it even. Honey kind of evens out as you go anyways, but just in case, I'm just gonna watch as I pull that back up. Turn on my lid. Stickiest part right here with the honey. All right, so now I've got my 1/3 cup of honey. Use my spatula here to pour it all out. Great. And then I am going to go to my vanilla extract. And for vanilla extract, you want to add just a teaspoon. So 1 teaspoon. So again, I've got my measuring spoons here because I want to make sure that I am not putting too much or too little of my ingredients. That's why it's so important to follow that recipe. Very easy to eyeball, and I know that possibly our grandparents cooked that way. But again, we want to make sure that we're not adding too much of something to put us in a category where it becomes not so healthy. So again, I've got my teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm going to pop that in the bowl. And last but not least is your chocolate morsels, or you can use raisins. Sky is the limit. Again, for those morsels or whatever you're choosing to add, you want to do 1/2 cup. I'm actually going to do less just because I don't love a ton of the chocolate morsels in. So I'm actually going to just do either 1/4 or 1/3. But again, you can mix it up. Maybe do a little bit of chocolate and a little bit of raisins, whatever is going to be enticing to your taste buds and helps with those cravings. And or if you're having an aversion to something, then you can just omit that out. As long as you have those base ingredients, that's the most important part. All right, so now I've got my bowl of all of my ingredients pretty much ready to go. And I'll show you what that looks like. So now I've got everything in my bowl and I'm gonna stir. Once I'm done stirring, I'm gonna ball these up. So I actually already have a little pan ready with some non-stick cooking paper. You can do non-stick spray, but the cooking paper is really nice because it's meant for cookies. So then I can press them on here and don't have to worry about them sticking to the paper. So that's my baking sheets. So again, I'm gonna take my spatula and start mixing everything up. And again, this is where it gets a little sticky, and that's okay. We're gonna embrace the mess. So we just wanna mix everything up nice and evenly. And the wonderful thing about this is you can eat this almost right away. Once we get these ingredients mixed together and we get them balled up, you can obviously refrigerate them, but you really could eat them right away. No bake involved. Super, super simple, and just a wonderful, healthy, nutritious snack to keep you energized and to keep you fuller for longer. Great source of protein, fiber, and very family friendly. Okay, so now if you look at everything, I'll show you that. It's all mixed up and mixed together. So I'm going to then take a small ball, about palm amount, and I'm just going to use my hands to kind of even them out. Okay, make sure that you wash your hands before, obviously. We would have done that in the beginning, and we did. And then you will find your energy balls to be in a small little circle. And now I'm going to just place them on my baking sheet. And what I will do once I kind of finish with this whole bowl, it just depends on how big that you make each of the energy balls, but you're going to get more than, I would say, 8 to 12, just depending on the size. And you can do some that are larger than others, but if you're really trying to focus on those portions, then again, try to keep them pretty similar. And sometimes I put them in baggies of 2. That way I can just grab them from my fridge and go. I don't have to think about it. And once you put them in the fridge, they're going to stick together. So right now they're just a little bit mushy, but put them in the fridge and they're a lot easier to eat at once. Again, I'm going to place these on my cooking sheet and be ready to go. And I actually made some a while ago. So these are how they look when they've been in the fridge for a while. So they are a little bit more condensed. They're not going to fall apart. And again, great snack. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's cooking demo. These are prenatal safe and a great source of energy. And there's a lot of ways to change up the ingredients. If there's things that you don't like or you have allergies or aversions to certain ingredients, then you can definitely mix those up. Thank you guys for joining and have a great day.